This video is brought to you by 10, our debut hardcover book celebrating 10 issues of the local project. Use the code BOOK5 at checkout for a 5% discount.
When I come into this house, I feel the space of it, and I feel the strength and power of these round shapes and how they frame the bay and Mount Tam. I'm Craig Steely. I'm the architect of the Sausalito Houseboat. So the Sausalito Houseboat is located just north of San Francisco in Sausalito, in a houseboat community. In World War II, they built a lot of Liberty ships here, and after the war, it was all abandoned, and artists and beatniks and hippies moved in and started living on the boats, building houses, making a kind of an amazing community. So when I first talked to Hannah, she was looking for something that's really spatial inside. Typically, a lot of the houseboats, they're trying to crush a house into a boat, and it seemed like just not the way to go about it. It seemed like really to think about the dock, think about the ocean, think about the views, think about the bay, and how to connect to all those, and how to connect sort of the interior space to the outdoor space. When Hannah and I first looked at the lot, there was a kind of a sinking wooden barge on the spot. But one of the things that really interested us was the history of it, of the community, of artists, of bohemians living together. And so we really wanted to sort of position this houseboat in a framework of those older, more sculptural, more artistic, more interesting spaces to be in, as opposed to these suburban Tuscan villas that you see popping up around the docks now. So entering this place, you come down the dock and come across a big gangplank. From there you look down into a garden, or as you walk in, you look down into the living space that's sort of set a little bit lower. But from that upper space, you can walk into the primary bedroom, which is kind of like a long space that has a bathroom, shower, tub, and then you step up into that and sort of a sleeping berth that sort of has a view over the whole living space, looking out towards the view. From the living level, you step down into the kitchen that's 30 inches below the living space, and then you walk down again into bedrooms and a garden that are at the lower level. So I think the one thing that sort of sets this houseboat apart from other houseboats are the use of layers. Keeping a big open volume with these circles on each side and having these layers that you walk through it and you sort of experience the views from these different layers and levels. One thing we've done too, when we start talking about materials, instead of using sheetrock, the entire interior is clad in painted slats. And you see that sort of like coming through the whole house, where the layers kind of dissolve into other layers, like where the kitchen is, or the bedroom berth is, where the entry stairs are. The other thing we've done too is, I think in terms of materiality, we've kept the palette really simple, just to sort of really focus on the greens of Mount Tam in the distance, the blue of the water. So really the house feels like a viewfinder, where you're looking through these big shapes at what's happening out there, and there's not a lot of visual distractions inside. So the houseboat is right on Richardson Bay, and with that comes everything at living on the water as things rust. We do a lot of projects in Hawaii, so we're pretty well versed in just how corrosive living on the ocean can be. So we took a lot of that into account here. The exterior is a hardy board product. We actually used old redwood that came off of another project we're doing in San Francisco. Actually, they said the redwood is probably well over 100 years old. We didn't put any finish or anything on it, and it's holding up so solid and so well. One of the most satisfying things about the projects that we do, and in particular this houseboat, is seeing how Hannah's using it. It's great working on a house and then getting to be able to see it used. Well, I have to say I have two favorite parts. One is the entry sequence, coming off the deck onto that ramp. The other would be walking through the house towards Mount Tam, towards the bay. That always feels really magical.
This video is brought to you by 10, our debut hardcover book celebrating 10 issues of the local project. 10 unites the very best projects from the first 10 issues of the publication into a beautiful single volume. With over 400 pages of architecture and design from both leading and emerging creatives, the hardcover book takes readers on a curated and meditative journey. The premium paper stock of the book means 10 is an enduring addition to a coffee table or library to be enjoyed for years to come. With worldwide delivery available, have 10 delivered directly to your door. Head to the link in the video description to purchase your copy now and use the code BOOK5 at checkout for a 5% discount.